Hey everyone, it's Jesse. Jesse from Jesse Does Cars. I need to actually address a few things, and I haven't actually done that since the beginning of this, or me doing videos. Um, the reason why I'm here is to actually encourage other people to actually rebuild and do the salvage things. There's too many cars actually out in the salvagers. And what I'm finding is a lot of people have gone out and wrecked cars to get insurance money, to get newer cars, things like that. I'm also finding that there's a lot of unregistered, um, um, people actually buying cars for very limited amounts of money and going out and just salvaging them out of their front yard. Nothing exactly wrong with that. However, the fact that they're taking rebuildable vehicles and doing this with is really just I mean, kind of chaps me because of the fact that these cars are literally rebuildable. It's like the value there. You could actually rebuild a car for like $2,000 and sell it to someone for $3,000 who needs a car and needs a reliable car that they can't afford $5,000 or they can't afford to refinance. Me, I'm a veteran. My income is very limited, and I can't really afford to go out and actually buy a $20,000 car. I don't understand, and I think that the world has gone insane when it comes to actually purchasing 60 to $100,000 cars and that being the norm. It's just not in my financial wheelhouse. Um, and just so you guys know, it's not because I can't afford it. It's not because I can't swing it financially, or that I can't do it as far as my like FICO scores and stuff like that go, because my FICO scores are like almost right at 800. Yes, I could do it, but my debt to income ratio would not allow for it because of the fact that I purchased a house post pandemic. Okay, anybody who purchases a house post pandemic also got a 6.5 or more interest rate, which means that they purchased twice as much house as they really could financially afford if you wanted to stay within the debt to income ratio on a limited budget. If you're making less than $60,000 a year, you're really kind of stretching it. So that being said, there are things in this world that you can actually do to reduce costs. And one of them is actually to rebuild cars and drive those. My current car right now is a 2011 Rogue. It had 60,000 miles on it when I got it. I had to rebuild the back end because the tub was actually smashed in. I pulled the tub out, bought a new rear bumper cover, and I've been driving it ever since. Currently, I'm getting close to 25,000 miles on that car. I've been driving it for over a year. What I'm getting at is there are cars out there. I recently, if you should watch any of my videos, I rebuilt a Sonata. That Sonata cost me about $5,000. I sold it for $5,000, but I drove it and I had fun with it. I enjoyed it. Got great gas mileage and things like that. Um, so I want to continue to do those things. I want to help the community and the people that are suffering, and the people that can't go out and purchase 30, 40, $50,000 cars. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make financial sense. It doesn't make smart sense to go out and buy those things like that. However, there's going to be people that disagree with me, and that's fine. That's your personal prerogative. And the odds are great that you probably make more than $60,000. Like I said, I am a veteran on disability, and I cannot afford debt to income ratio to go out and purchase another car at greater than 300 to 350 a month. And it also puts a financial strain on me that I don't need. It's a headache. I don't need it. And it's very hard for me. So I'm rebuilding cars to try to help other people. And in the process, I need help from you, the listener, the watcher, and that's the reason why I'm doing this video here. I'm not intending on being in front of the screen like this all the time. I'm an introvert. Being in a screen is not easy for me. I don't enjoy being in front of a screen. I enjoy working with other people and helping things come together and making things work the way that they should. I That's my enjoyment. I love seeing things just come together or be rebuilt or built or anything. And that doesn't just go to cars. I'm a IT technician. I have a master's degree. I lack words. I have a deficit in my brain that um, makes me forget certain words, even though I know the concepts and I know exactly what I'm talking about. I cannot actually recall that word at that moment in time. It's a big block for me. It's a big deficit, but I've learned to work around it. There's a lot of times that I will say things like I'm trying to think of the word hinges and I can't, it just won't come to my mind, even though I'm pointing right at it. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Everybody else knows what I'm talking about. And I will use mnemonics to actually help fix that problem. Um, I also have a nasal issue. I sniffle a lot. I know a lot of deficits about myself and I know a lot of things, and I'm not deluded to the fact that I don't have them. Okay. There's some things that I can physically fix. There's some things mentally I can fix. There's some things socially or emotionally that I can fix, but I do have limitations, as we all do. There is no one out there that does not have limitations like the rest of us. We are all in the same boat. We are all paddling to get to where we need to go, our destinations. Don't forget that. So I actually have a list. Give me a second, and I will pull it up. First topic out there is um, auction rebuilds. I think I already discussed that and why I'm actually doing this. I find value in junk. Other people may not. I don't find it junk, whereas other people do. Um, why am I focusing on Copart car rebuilds? Well, there's two of them, and I live right between them. So if I go 50 miles south, there's one, and if I go 50 mile or 100 miles north, there's another one, and then I can also go another 150 miles west, and there's two more. So Copart auctions are readily available to me and everything like that. Salvage car restoration. Well, honestly, salvage cars are usually not salvaged. What they are is insurance wrecked. And so what that says is when you consider cost, time, labor, shop expenses, uh, and then you figure in parts and everything like that, they're insurance wrecked because it costs more to rebuild them than the insurance company wants to actually put into them. I'm not going to say that than they actually cost or they're worth, because there's at a certain point that the insurance company wrecks them, and I think it's like at 60%. If the damage is more than 60% or something like that of the value of the vehicle, they just automatically wreck it. Does that mean that they're going to come with a salvage title? Not necessarily. So technically, they're supposed to. Give me one second. Found something that's annoying me, and got to fix it. OCD. Anyway, cats like climbing all over my car, my keyboard. Anyway, okay, so not necessarily does it mean that they're going to be salvage title. So a lot of times well, actually, 2 out of the 4 times I've taken my cars in to have them inspected, and they came back, and then I went back to the DMV, or the private companies in Washington that do it. Um, I've come back with clean titles. So it just depends on the damage of the vehicle, how much is there, and I honestly have not been able to figure this out. I've been actually trying to factor it, and there's really little rhyme or reason to it. I would say that the least amount of damage is better, and you can go in and kind of schmooze them a little bit. Anyway, Okay, so do-it-yourself car repair. This is basically this reduced the cost. So remember, I said that uh, time, labor, shop, all that fun stuff, and then the insurance companies wreck them. Well, if you do the labor yourself, and you watch videos and you see what's going on, or you ask me questions, and I can tell you or help you out as well. I have zero problems, or I can even make a video on it. I have zero problems trying to help people out. If you live locally, or if I could somehow swing it to help you, I would try to do that also. I mean, it would make some great video content. I really want to make these videos to help people out. Um, that also comes down to viewership. I need viewership. I need people to share. I need people to like, uh, and yeah, like, subscribe, share. Sharing is definitely important because then I can get more likes, I can get more shares, or you guys know how it works. Um, I'm new to the program, so you guys got to help me out here. Help me get to 500 viewers, or not viewers, but um, whatever they're called, subscribers, and then we'll do another video and move on from there. I need to get up to that point in order to start getting some revenue. The more revenue I get, the more things I can do. Currently, I've been putting everything out from my out of pocket, and with on veterans salary, it just hurts. I've also been doing door dashing, which is really hard on my psyche, with costs of everything going up and everything like that. And I'm not going to get political, because you know what, inflation's a thing. It happens when you shut down a government, or a country, and you do a restart. Yeah, you're going to suffer from inflation. Period. The fact that we're not suffering nearly as much as the rest of the world is a testament to how we actually are recovering. So there's that, and that's the last we're going to hear about that. Anyway, so the money coming out of my accounts is kind of expensive. Um, I do need help with getting equipment, such as cameras and things like that. Currently, I'm using my photography equipment, which is over $10,000, and that's probably just not the best way to do it. Um, excuse me. Um, we need to do things with a little more GoPro kind of like equipment and things like that, so that I'm not going to scrap a $5,000 lens. Okay, and technically it's not a $5,000 lens. I have a $3,000 lens I'm using, which is just as bad. Okay, so before I did this, I did a tiny home build. Um, I had a blast with that. If someone ever wanted to do a tiny home and have me come and help you out and then pay my expenses, great. That would be great. As far as content goes and things like that, I also have a lot of different ways to cut corners. I recently saw a bus build, which was absolutely amazing, and I'm sitting there going, "Man, that would just really cut a lot of costs." Anyway, I'm also a plumber. I was a plumber in the Air Force. I was a junior level plumber. When I got out of the Air Force, I got something in my nose. Okay, so when I was in the Air Force, I was a plumber, and I was a junior level plumber. I enjoyed my job. I actually took it seriously and did it, and I learned a lot along the way. So that helped a lot in the tiny home build. Unfortunately, I didn't get all the plumbing done. Ran into some snafus with legal permitting and things like that, which is with a rolling house, or RV that's already permitted and things like that. You definitely bypass a lot of legalities in that aspect. Um, I would look to actually take an RV and actually raise the roof. Actually, more to the point, I would actually take a bus. I saw that the buses, they're much more well constructed. Excuse me. Buses are much more well constructed than, let's say, a RV. RVs have thin skins. They're thin walled. They're not put together really well. Buses are actually use steel construction, and they have like a similar roll type things that RVs do not. They're actually assembled much better than an RV. So anyway, getting a bus for very cheap, like an old school bus, and then just rebuilding it, raising the roof, things like that, welding new supports in, and reskinning it. It was actually cheaper than actually building a tiny home from wood and from scratch. So there's that. Um, as far as doing unscripted car builds. So I have a list. I actually published a 15-second snip on how that list looks. It's just a spreadsheet. It just says all the things that I need on it. Then it also gives a list of the things that I need to do. But it also has costs associated with each one of those items, and then it automatically tabulates or adds everything together to say what I've spent and what I need to spend and blah blah blah. It just helps keep me straight and keep me moving in the right direction, so I know exactly what I need to do that day, or as the money comes to me, I know what to order and gets on. I have a Subaru build right now that I'm working on. Currently, I believe I have everything ordered. The last seat belt was locked out. I didn't realize it, and I got everything done for the airbag system, and realized that I had a seat belt that was still locked out. So that's out getting repaired. It should be mailed back today or tomorrow, and we should be able to figure out what systems I have left. Now, I did try to repair the wires to the airbag from the uh, from one of the systems, and I don't know if that works really well, but we're going to find out once we put the new or put the repaired seatbelt back in. We're going to see if that error comes back up. The other two things I do have, and if somebody knows how to fix this one, I have a active vent in the front that's not communicating. I still have to tear the bumper cover back off on that because I got to put the bumper reinforcement in there anyway. I need to check the wiring on that. That's one of them, and then the other one was the oh, I want to say the pin or something like that. Give me 1 second. Um, going to clock spring. So the clock spring, I have a new replacement coming on its way. So hopefully that fixes the problem. So I currently have the old clock spring in there. I just cut the wires off because the wires were actually melted into the old airbag system when it discharged. So I'm assuming that the clock spring is probably still bad also because of the fact that when you get that much heat going through a system, the clock spring, it's probably going to melt also. So fingers crossed, and hopefully that actually solves the problem there. So once I get the um, right hand seatbelt back installed, the new clock spring, and then get the active vent fixed. Again, if anybody has any comments on any of these things, please let me know, so that way I can have a better understanding of them. I am not necessarily a not necessarily a mechanic. Uh, I have, like I said, I have an IT degree. I see things as Legos um, or large plumbing systems, and if I can actually equate them to those two things, I can actually fix them. Uh, bolting, unbolting, and bolting is pretty much what I do. I can do some painting. I've been doing painting since I got out of the Air Force in 2006. Um, uh, and I've done a little bit of body work. I'm working with the dollies and hammers and stuff like that. It's a little bit of fun to me, but I really just need to be able to figure out how to actually take those things off and actually put the bang them into shape and stuff like that. I think I did have one of my videos actually showed how I actually took the dents out of the front left corner fender. I have a new fender to replace that, but I just wanted to see what I could do, and that only took me maybe an hour to get all that back into shape. If I took longer, I could probably get pretty close. Am I looking for perfect? No, that's not the point of this. Not the point of this videos. And if you're looking for perfection, there's plenty of other people out there that can show you how to do it perfectly. I'm not one of those. I'm just out here to show you what you can do. You don't have to have perfection, and you don't have to put hours and hours and hours and hours to get to a functioning state and looking decent at the same time. If you want perfect, that's for people that want to put thousands of hours and a lot of time, which equates to money, and that's just not me. Um, Probably never going to have a Lamborghini or anything like that. Probably, and if I did, I would probably put those thousands of hours into it. But I'm right now dealing with like a 2017 Legacy, which has some value. It's $11,000, but it's not huge. And also, I picked up the Legacy for $1,000. Okay. By the time I had it towed and shipped and all that fun stuff and all the fees, it was $1,700. So it puts me back exactly where I was with the Sonata. The Sonata was a 2011. The difference is the Sonata had a brand new engine in it. This Legacy does not. Okay. So there's always going to be trade offs for everything you do. And there's going to be a bargain basement kind of like thing. You really want things running, and um, the cheaper you can rebuild the bodies for, the better off you are, because body parts are expensive. So anyway, a little off topic there. Let's get back to uh, let's see here. Get back to my list. Um, so unscripted. This is definitely unscripted. I have a list. I burrowed down to just some topics. Uh, Rebuilding car or wrecked cars. I think we've kind of already gone over that. Why I do it? It's also enjoyable for me. It's fun. Gives me something to do. It keeps my brain active. Sitting around not working and things like that for veterans is very difficult for us. It actually wears on us psychologically more than most people would think. Budget car projects. There are definitely ways to get around things. I always think that if I buy a $500 car, down the street, I'm going to wind up in a worse spot than I bought one from Copart. That's not true, because maybe it needs a $50 part to get it running again. Okay. The odds are good that I'm going to spend $2,000 on a Copart car. What are the odds that I'm going to spend $2,000 on the car from down the street? Probably not very good. In fact, most cars that are broken down require $100 to $200 worth of parts. That's it. So if you have $700-800 in it, and then you put a good detail to it, and maybe $200, you got $900 into it, and rough numbers there. And then you go out and sell it for $3,000. You've just made $2,100. Not a bad profit. Sure, you got some time into it. Had your time up, and if you divide like your 13 hours or whatever it is by the $2,100, I'll do some quick math here. Not great at that fast math. 2,100 divided by 13, and that's just a ballpark. We could even say 40. So let's say 40. That's $52 an hour. If we did 2,100 divided by 13, you're going to wind up with $161. I mean, what job do you know that's out there that you're making $161 an hour? Not very many. So, I mean, there's that. So you've got, Copart, and you've also got down the street. If you see a car that's been sitting there for a long time, go out and offer them $500. It's okay. If you know something about it, even better. So like, don't go out and buy something that you don't know anything about. Buy something you kind of have some interest in. Buy something that you know a little bit about. The engine, and a lot of times it doesn't have to necessarily be an engine you worked on or a car you've worked on before, because a lot of times they share parts from other vehicles. Um, uh, A lot of vehicles share similar parts, and even brands share similar parts. A lot of Audis and things like that share VW parts. Jaguars share VW parts. Lamborghinis share VW parts, or Audi parts. Blah blah blah. On down the line, right? So a lot of them carry Bosch. Bosch is common in a lot of different vehicles, and a lot of times they have the same numbers. They cross reference. So there's that. Um, so there's that introvert journey. Car restoration tips. There's your tips right there. Uh, and I would actually encourage viewers to come to me and say, hey, you've got this project. Let me could you come out and do that? If you're in Washington State, Oregon, Idaho, I could possibly come out and make a trip out there as long as you pay my expenses. You definitely coming out and give you help, as long as we're filming it and then making content. Absolutely. Um, there's also my brother, and I have two nephews. One nephew is 15, and he is getting ready to drive. So therefore, he's going to be building a vehicle, and we're going to work with him get that. We're also going to work on building him a channel. My other nephew is in college, and we're going to work on building him a channel, and then my twin brother also. We're going to work on building him a channel. So we're all going to kind of work underneath one umbrella. While we'll have individual channels, we'll all work on one umbrella, kind of like uh, a few other places are already doing. So it creates a lot more content for us. Um, so there's our car rebuild channel. Uh, yeah, so salvage vehicles, it doesn't matter where they come from or where you get them. As long as you get them for a decent price and can turn a decent profit, you're good to go. Remember, there's a one advantage to um, buying cars from down the street is you get the titles and things like that. Always make sure you get the title. Don't let them say, "Oh, I can get the title," or something like that. There are ways to get them, even after they say they can get the title. Even if they give you um, a sign, signature or purchase and things like that. There's ways to get the titles, but they're really difficult sometimes, and it's better just to make sure that you get the title right off the bat. There's plenty of other vehicles out there. You can walk away. It's just that simple. Um, yeah. So this is getting long, and I just really wanted you guys to understand why I'm here, what we're doing, how we're doing it, and I really, really need your help about actually getting shares, likes, blah blah blah, and I need your I need your responses as well. I need you guys to actually comment back and make recommendations, help me out in ways, because, like I said, I'm not a mechanic. Yeah, I've taken mechanics classes and things like that. I know how things work. I'm an IT person. I have a mechanical brain. I've been somewhat of an engineer my entire life. I've done drafting, drawings, uh, things like that. So I'm there. I even know some science. I know how chemicals work and things like that. They're just it's kind of the same thing, building blocks, blah blah blah. Everything kind of works on that principle. But um, yeah, I need your help, and I largely help me get going so I can actually get better. My video editing will get better. My Everything will get better. I promise you that. If you watch with me and come along with me and you share and increase views and things like that, I guarantee you I will progress. That's my nature. I do get better at things. So anyway, with that being said, I'm going to get going, and hopefully I will see you real soon. I should have a couple videos coming out. This one I lagged on for a couple of days after coming back. My mom passed away this last week, and so I've been kind of lulled out a little bit. And we had a camp out with all the siblings and everything like that. So I'm back from that, and Do have another trip coming up. We're going to be doing the memorial, so that's there, and that's it. So once that's done and going, and I get some bills caught up, I will be doing this pretty much full time. So I need a lot of your help, and I will keep